So, Jeff.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you ever go swimming?
Rarely.
But you have gone swimming.
Oh, I have swam.
So if you were on the high dive, we're just assuming you're on the high dive.
I've done that.
Yeah. And you run and you jump off.
Yep.
What's your favorite dive?
My favorite dive. Oh, God. This has got to be a trick question.
It is.
It'd be the cannonball.
Let's go.
Well done, Jeff.
That was unscripted. Hey, look, he kept up.
I almost said the swan dive.
I wanted you to. I would have come back with a cannonball.
Swan dive!
Yeah, we got to get that one in there. What's going on, man? Here we are.
Jeff Ward in the house.
Jeff in the house. You know what I'm saying. No, when I'm on the mic, there won't be no delaying.
Your name comes up often on this show.
It does.
People know all about you, but
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, don't listen back.
You're on the hot seat now. You are now the interviewee.
All righty.
For the first time.
And do you know where you are right now?
I don't know that.
You're in SRP Studios LLC.com.
That's right.
I knew that.
Yeah, and then you can go check out motivatewithcoachcamp.com if you ever need some leadership.
Let's go. Yes. Hey, I wonder if he's on my group.
I don't know, but he needs to be.
Yes.
Because Jeff and I know that the Facebook can be very negative.
It can be.
But there is a positive group called
Positive Voices.
That's right.
No,
I
I didn't know about that one.
Well, you should join it.
We got to get you in that. The link is in the description,
We have 1,000
y'all.
subscribers. You can be 1,001.
And then we got to sing for Jeff now. Why? Because every time we do our email,
Yes.
we got to let people know it's
Cannonballing Life at Gmail. .com. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. That's like a swan dive.
Did you like that, Jeff? See, I can sing.
It's very relaxing.
Can I sing in our band now?
No.
Oh, wow. Womp womp.
And, thanks to that wonderful performance, maybe
Yes.
you can throw us a tip in the bucket.
Couple dollars.
Yeah.
So we got Venmo at Motivate with Coach Camp. Link in
Go
the
ahead.
description.
Yeah, we've got people that have donated before. It's
So
not
Jeff,
a waste of money.
Jeff, we always just bull crap until the music ends.
Okay.
So
The music is still jamming.
yeah.
Keep
How
doing it.
does it feel to be in that seat?
It's different.
Yeah. Is it 6 feet thunder?
It's going to be fun. Yeah, 6 feet thunder, baby.
Bang, bang.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
I'm
right.
talking about.
Yeah. Some good friends of ours.
We don't know if they're even still a thing anymore.
Maybe they're 7 feet
They
thunder.
haven't played
haven't
yet
done a
this
show
year.
in a while.
Yeah. So
all right.
a bunch of our friends that are in different bands have a little super group that they play once in
Yeah.
a while. And the lead singer lives in Florida.
Okay.
So
Do
shout
they
out to
do
Mark
everything
Holt.
on Zoom?
Yeah, they jam on Zoom. Yeah.
There's a Zoom band.
No, that was back in COVID.
Cutting edge.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Yes, my good friend Jeff Ward is in the house, everybody. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're, time-wise, it's great because we will be able to promote
Right.
our episode 100 at Roosters.
Absolutely.
Highland.
Yep.
We've been talking about getting you on the show too, and now it finally happened.
Yeah.
Yep. I was like, hey, enough's enough.
Yeah.
I'm not asking Jeff. I'm telling Jeff.
And now, Jeff, you get to experience being in this room with Coach Cam.
Oh, that's exciting.
Can I apologize?
He's a different level
I'm
of
gonna
energy.
apologize.
That's all good, man. If you have watched any of the rhythm section, you know there's no apologies necessary.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're now 3 knuckleheads in here.
Yes, it's going to explode. It's almost another explosion button. I don't even know. It's got that thing going on.
How does it feel to be on the show, Coach? I'm talking to you. How does it feel to be on a show with 2 poop birds?
Oh, wow. Very special. I once wrote a song about it.
Wrote a song about it, but well, yeah. I mean, usually we prepare a little bit, but today is just, man. We got Jeff here. I know you've got some things you want to ask.
Well, there's things that people have written in. They knew about Jeff coming on because we are worldwide.
There's no
we have
way people have written
we have
in.
several million viewers, and it's just like, hey, look, could you ask him this? And then they said, I was like, I deciphered through several
Happens
thousand.
all the time.
So I narrowed it down to 5. We got 5
things.
questions, 5 major
People
questions.
want to know all kinds of
Well,
stuff about me.
they're staying awake at night. Want to know. So these are deep.
All right. Do we get to curse on this one, or is there no curse?
No curse. on
Okay,
this one.
gotcha.
I've got
sure.
young people, so
keep-
it's
I
like,
got you.
yeah,
I got
We
you.
keep this one
Yeah, the rhythm
G-rated.
section's a little bit more PG-13.
Yeah, we go a little crazy on that one.
I've got like this 6-year-old that writes me all the time, like, Mr. Chris Camp, why is it that your friend over there says cuss words? I'm like, I don't know. They're trying to work with him. He's from the north.
You guys both know the iPad. Our viewers on both shows know the iPad and the sounds. And I have 4 serious F word sounds, right?
Oh, goodness.
Well, so the DJ thing I'm doing.
You got something on your nose there.
Gross.
Like Rudolph,
There it is.
different. Yep.
Oh, gross.
Put that on the keyboard.
Hanger. You're a good friend. Thank you.
It's very slippery.
That didn't end up on 60 minutes of the show.
Well, if you leave it there, then that part right there could just work like sunblock.
But I use this iPad at my DJ stuff,
Right.
so I can use silly sounds there too, and I have to be careful because I just did the Kid Zone at the A Fair,
Right.
and I don't need to be hitting the F word sounds.
Oh, that's different. It's like phonics, only different.
So let's introduce Jeff to some sounds that specific to this show.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
the sounds are cheaters. They play on one show, they play on another show. We still got the same, silly things here.
Yes. Kamala Harris.
But we have
next door.
we have two sounds. We only have two sounds that we only use on Cannonball.
Well, I'm going to tell you this much. One of these is a very special person in our life, and she's very violent at times.
In all of our lives? Or?
Yes. No,
Okay.
it's every human's life on
Okay,
Earth. They
okay.
just didn't know it at times.
All right.
And all I know is if you're in an area and there's a fly swatter, she's your woman.
Can you quit slinging that nasty fly swat around?
That's Miss Alicia Camp.
That would be my wife. She loves that I stole that off
That
of her
is
voice
awesome.
and put it in the show.
I love it.
And this next one would work for us. The Alicia sound
Can you quit slinging that nasty fly swat around?
Yes, ma'am.
can be used to make fun of the South too.
You're the only then you need I need to
And
talk
then
to.
One of my favorites.
Our good friend Wes Joyner,
Yes.
a viewer of the show,
Wes.
recorded his voice for this. And this would fit us as well.
These dudes are nuttier than a squirrel turd.
That needs to go on the rhythm section.
These dudes are nuttier than a squirrel turd.
I got to tell you, Wes is a big fan of ours. So true story, and I don't know if you know him or not. He started following me on my Motivate show for a while, and he would message me, and I'd never met him. And then finally, I'm like, "Hey, Wes, maybe you should be a guest." And he was a guest, and then it's like he just connected with us. He's a substitute teacher over at Orlando, and
Yeah, he went
loves
to
to
the old
contribute.
studio.
Right.
He's been on the show. He's a good guy. Thanks, Wes.
Yep.
You're the
Whoop,
best.
whoop. He's
So-
got a great sense of humor too. So
clearly.
he's a paraplegic, and he wears shirts like I do every day but leg day. So he puts things out there. Like he has a T-shirt that says that.
Yeah, he's
See,
in on
I don't
the
know
joke.
if I'm being punked.
No, you're not. being punked.
No,
that's
he's a
legit.
paraplegic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will tell you when the punk's happening after the punk happens, but
well,
this one wasn't a punk.
Okay. All right.
So, for the sake of introducing Jeff to the show, I'm going to tell a story. And Jeff's going to tell the story with me. We've told it a million times, but not to this audience, Jeff. We're going
Or
to talk
me?
about
What about me?
We're going to talk about the first time me and Jeff met.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, are we?
Is there that music right here where you hit and it's?
Oh, this. Yeah.
I can't wait.
You know when we first met. You know the story.
Always. I can't believe that story hasn't made it to this podcast.
Oh,
Maybe,
Romantic.
but we're going to tell it together.
I'm going to let you tell it.
Okay.
I always tell it. You tell it. I want to get your version.
So we used to play with a gentleman by the name of Derrick Joseph, right? Country singer. And he and I can go back to the Nashville years. He lived there as well. Different stories. He's from New York. I'm from Maine, but that's kind of how that connection happened. In different ways, we both end up in the Shelby County, DeSoto County area and everything. So it circles back around where he's playing the Tunica scene, the casinos. And I get involved. So now I'm his bass player, right? Never played with him when we lived in Nashville. But years later, 2013, I'd say, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So we're, as what usually happens, you end up needing like a couple drummers, a couple guitar players, whatever. You need fill-ins and everything. So we have a date set for Hollywood Casino. And he tells me, hey, I called this drummer. His name's Jeff Ward. Never played with him before. You could probably tell me how you guys connected. I'll let you tell that part of the story.
Yeah.
But on my side, I'm told that this guy's going to be filling in. I'm like, great. Okay, fine,
Yeah.
And
Excited.
so that's, and that's very common
Sure.
in the music world that you're meeting someone for the first time on the stage, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're in the next song. Like that happens. And Jeff was doing a pretty good job, until one song.
Uh-oh.
And then
No, it was more than one song. But
One song in particular.
so part of the story that he's not telling is that my lead time for this gig was about
10 years. And he had 10 years to prep.
About 48 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is also common.
That's common for a lot of people that had a whole lot more experience than I did at the time.
Oh, and this is drums.
This is drums, and I didn't know any of these songs.
Okay.
So I had 2 days
Which is that
to
is
learn a lot.
Yes. 2-day notice, which is common. Sometimes when you're just a fill-in or you're getting called to do a thing, you say yes because you want the opportunity, but yeah, it sucks being just a fill-in guy having to learn 30 songs in 2 days.
That's a bunch.
So he was under a lot of pressure. Yeah.
Sure.
For sure.
Extreme pressure from my point of view. From y'all's point of view, it probably wasn't that big of a deal. So
So the song was Heavy by Collective Soul.
yes,
Okay.
And
it's a very specific song with a very specific groove.
yes. And let me kind of throw myself under the bus too. You know, my mindset was a lot more negative then too. You know, I was a jaded musician, just tired. Right.
He had been doing it a long time.
And I was, and still to this day, it's a challenge to not show my emotions on my face.
You should wear a mask like those Mexican wrestlers.
Well, I'm going to have sunglasses on for our new gig, which
that
this
works.
audience knows about too, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Back in time.
Great Scott!
And so prior to this song, I'm sure there were moments where I had hairy eyeball. I'm sure my energy was felt, right? But then this song happens, and like Jeff said, it's a very distinct drum beat.
Yeah.
You know, and it's got parts and pushes and pulls, and you know, and clearly, and in a way, you did the right thing because he, instead of like really trying and messing it up and making it worse, he disco-fied it and just did a boonch, 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 boonch,
Straight through.
boonch,
Wow.
boonch,
I think I could do that.
right straight through it. And the whole time I'm just like looking at him. And again, I'm sure I'm shaking my head and showing my emotions on the sleeve and being a jerk. Right? I'm sure I am, you know, and making him more nervous. So that's our first meeting, our first story. And then it continues on to Derrick tells me that he's on this other gig we're going to do at what used to be the Resorts Casino. Now it's a field.
This was months later.
Yeah.
Oh, months later.
And
Okay.
has time and everything. He shows up to the gig, and
Yeah.
I hope I was still like, hey, man, what's up, man? I'm sure.
Oh, no, you were great that night.
For seeing you,
Yeah.
in the back of my mind, I'm sure I'm just like, oh, I
This
hope
is
he
going to be
brings it.
terrible.
Bump, chicka, bump, chicka.
And,
Here we go.
And I'm here to tell you, he crushed it.
Yeah.
And to the point, what did I say to you?
Oh, well, first of all, to Derrick Joseph's credit, this time I got like 2 weeks notice.
Oh, okay.
So I had time to learn the music.
Sure.
And we played the first set. I felt great about it. And I was like, I hope this guy's going to feel okay about it
This
too.
jerk to my left over here.
And we get done and we get up to leave, and I'm headed towards backstage, and he stops me and he goes, man, don't take this the wrong way, but you are not the same drummer we used last time.
Yeah.
And I was like,
He killed it.
That
It was great.
means I'm doing great. So
Yeah.
And we've been friends ever since.
yeah, the pressure was off. We played a great show, had a great time, and he and I have played hundreds of shows now.
I mean,
maybe.
a lot, different bands, but that's over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And we've been buddies ever since.
Yeah. Derrick explained to me what a rhythm section was.
Yeah,
I
had
had
no
to
idea.
explain
Yeah,
that to
a
him.
lot of people don't know.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know?
I just thought it was me. I thought I was the rhythm, and now I can show you my section.
It was funny early on in the podcast, people would find out that he plays drums.
Right.
And I play bass. They're like, really? You guys are musicians?
Yeah.
And it's like, we would think people would get the joke, but
Yeah.
now people understand. But yeah, early on when we first started the show, I
Yeah.
mean, no one knew us.
If we weren't musicians, we would have called it the Turd Birds.
The Turd Birds.
Well, that's a catchy
That's better
name.
than Poop Birds.
You guys could be
Turd
wrestlers.
Tag team.
Tag
Tag
team.
team.
That's right. I'm Turd, he's Bird.
There we go. Y'all can switch interchangeable, right? Who's going to be the turd today?
Speaking
stuff,
of that, when you do this podcast, do you throw up pictures and stuff?
No,
on it?
no,
you don't really do
no,
that.
no. This is a
We're
very,
very
basic.
low rent.
All right,
We're
I was
low
going
rent.
to talk about the wrestling video that I think I tagged you in it, where the guy it's obviously an underground wrestling thing, and the guy's dressed up like Jesus. He looks just like Jesus,
And he's using his
choke slamming
powers.
people and never touching them.
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
definitely indie wrestling for sure. You know,
That's good stuff. Hey, I had Downtown Bruno Brown on my show,
Love
and he talked
Downtown.
about being choke slammed and knocked out.
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't remember who the guy was, though.
He's been in this studio twice
Now,
downtown.
that's cool. I would have loved to have been here for that.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, I watched him on Saturday mornings.
His stipulation typically he charges.
Yes.
A lot of these wrestlers, old school wrestlers, do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
A lot of celebrities
I was
charge
gonna
to
say,
be on the podcast.
people that are
It's part of the
known.
deal.
Sure.
But-
You guys got me for free.
That's right.
Derrick said it was $200. Where's that money go?
Right in my pocket.
Oh, dang.
But he didn't charge Coach, and he didn't charge my other friend and client Neil for his show. But you got to provide him with hot wings and beer.
That's his rules.
That's his rule.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. So, but he's like
Are there any
Slurping on the
specific
mic.
hot wings?
Well,
Or is it just
no.
whatever's
I don't
available?
know. I
So
don't know.
I thought I was going to get hot wings. He asked for some other kind of like Parmesan cheese things.
Eh,
Oh, okay.
That's
That's
not
what
really
I ended up getting.
And
that's
not-
a wing. It's not a hot.
He might have a specific beer. Did he request
Bud Light. He
Bud
did
Light.
ask that. Yep. He did
Usually
ask for
a beer is specific.
Sure.
that. Yeah. So yeah, he he's in here pounding them down and
Cool.
chewing down and explaining stuff. And very interesting conversation, as you might expect.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Tons of stories.
I'm sure you loved it.
Oh, it was great.
Being
yeah.
the wrestling nerd you
Yeah.
are.
Yes.
So,
yes.
yeah.
I mean, I could have picked his brain for hours.
Because, did you know who he was outside of
Yeah.
Memphis? Okay.
Yeah, he was Wimpleman, Harvey Wimpleman.
Yep.
He had
I
that for
remember
a minute. Yep. He's changed his name up a few different
So
times.
he was on the WWE.
Yes.
E.
Yeah, and when he moved from Memphis wrestling to WWF at the time, to this day he still has a contract with them. So
Really?
he's one of the, if not the longest tenured employee of WWF. Now he's got a Legends contract, which now you just go to signings and stuff. You know, he's not a producer anymore. Doesn't do any managing, any behind the scenes stuff. He doesn't travel to all the different
Still
shows.
getting paid.
Still getting paid.
There you
getting
go.
paid.
Still getting paid.
That's all that matters.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm working on having him come back and bring Jimmy Hartmouth of the South. I want to have them both at the same time. Place is going to explode.
I have to at least be back here.
Sure.
for
Oh,
that.
yeah, oh no.
be
Yeah,
good
Jimmy, I'm going to give you and Jimmy and Jacob
Yeah.
some SRP shirts. Really,
Right.
these are my producers. They're here helping.
Have some laminates made up.
That'd be good.
Where we feel really special.
I'm gonna have all three of us come to each start one camera each.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I need these guys.
Yeah,
they're my
they're
camera
my camera
engineers. My camera guys.
I don't know if I told you this, but when I was an insurance adjuster many moons ago, I actually went to Jerry Lawler's house.
Oh, really?
The girl that he was dating or whatever had a car wreck. And so I had to go look at the car and write an estimate on it.
Did you meet him?
I met him. He was there. He signed a sheet for me, a
cool.
photo.
Nice guy.
Super nice. He was so cool. Had me come in the house and we talked about wrestling for a minute. And I was like, I don't want to make you feel old, but I grew up watching you, and Bill Dundee, and
Did you know his wife was a wrestler?
His current wife?
No. Jerry Lawler's wife back then. Because that's what Downtown Bruno talked about. He wrestled her
I did not know this.
Oh, okay.
and won some women's championship.
That's right. He did.
He
He's
had
the
a
only.
tutu on. He was the only male
To win
women's champion for one day,
funny.
and then lost it the next day. Or whatever. That's what was scripted. So, anyways,
I think they were trying to relive the comedian's name.
Kaufman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy Kaufman.
Right.
He wrestled
That's
women
right.
and stuff.
That's
And
right.
That's what heels do, man. They're jerks.
yeah.
Well, now that your audience is completely dozed off,
No, they're awake. They're waiting for this next thing.
They're
We
waiting.
don't know when it's coming either.
They want to hear more of Coach. Coach is the star of this.
I don't
show,
know about
by the
that.
way.
Hey, I do want to say something if we could.
Go for it.
Today is a special day. And since we're on the air taping, even though when this comes out, it'll be after this day because it's literally on this day that the day is special. Happy birthday, Zach Camp.
Yes, Coach is
28 years old.
28. Yes.
So,
Well, while we're speaking of dates,
yes.
I don't want to cut you off. You want to say something
That's
else about
happy
your son?
birthday.
Happy birthday, Zach.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing well. But
Oh, come on. What you we doing?
keep singing.
I like it. That's good stuff, man.
But this is publishing on Friday the 6th.
Yes, it is.
Tomorrow on the 7th, and this audience has heard this already, but I'm going to one last time push it, especially with Jeff being here.
Sure.
As we are filming episode 100 in front of a live audience at Roosters Blues House Highland. Doors open at 3. It's 535 South Highland Street.
Yep.
I kind of have that embedded in my brain
Memorized,
now
yeah.
because we said it so many times.
Yeah.
Come check us out. It's free. Free
that
show.
would be awesome if you pay attention and watch this podcast. If you come up to us and say, "Hey, I know that other podcast, but I wanted to come see you guys because I heard about it."
Yeah, so we're
that
fans
would
of
be
Cannonball.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And now you guys are going to be fans of the Rhythm Section podcast.
So many podcasts. They're going to have to really dedicate a day, wake up on that day,
Mm-hmm.
and just listen to like 15 different podcasts.
Right.
That's the way it's going to work.
Oh, I mean, before you come to the filming, you have to catch up.
That's how it is.
So you're going to have 90 plus to catch up on.
Sure. And actually, to also push another thing for you, because on the 6th, when this comes out at 6:30 a.m., when people wake up, because a lot of people wake up right at 6 o'clock, anticipating to get their coffee ready. I've heard about this. They'll boil an egg. Some of them will. And then they sit down next to their phone or wherever it is they're going to get their device, wherever you download your podcast, and they're going to sit there and watch the Cannonball right out the box. Well, know that night, on the 6th, on Friday, they could come out to the Arts Council and see you
that's
there.
right. That's right.
Yeah, see, I did that. I built that up.
So I'm DJing Friday night, spinning them beats.
Boom, boom, chicka, boom, boom,
Spinning the
chicka, boom.
beats.
My name is Derrick. Come out to Thrive Entertainment. You got to I'm going to make the song, and then you can dub it in. So that's how you're going to introduce yourself.
Yeah. But it's probably going to be more yacht rock
Okay.
stuff.
Yacht rock.
But so yeah, busy weekend. And
We
then,
get caught between the moon and New York City.
He's the singer.
he can sing.
I believe
Oh,
that.
Jeff can legit sing.
You can't figure it out from that.
No, he can. I've seen it. I've seen it live, and coming from a big PA system, he can
Nice.
sing. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, big weekend for me and Jeff, because then Sunday, we're filming like we do on Sundays for the podcast, and then we have a band rehearsal with Back in Time
On Sunday.
on Sunday.
Yeah.
Wow. So you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday stacked and racked.
Stacked.
It's going to be a busy weekend for me, especially. I got Johnny Lamb to come in and cover drums for me Friday night.
That's right. Jeff was going to be playing tonight if you're listening to this on Published Day. But,
but with my mother-in-law going in the hospital, I didn't know what my schedule was going to be like, so I had someone cover for that one. So now I just have a Saturday night gig, a Saturday day gig with what we're doing, and then Sunday with
that's
all
right.
this.
When you go to see us at Roosters at 3 p.m. Saturday, June 7th, later that night, Jeff's band Generation X is playing.
Yeah.
Nice. Where at?
Roosters,
there at
that
Roosters.
place.
Same place.
at
So
9:30.
that's good. You ain't got to pack up and leave.
You just hang out.
Yeah.
So from 3 p.m. to about midnight. That's all we need you.
I got a long day.
That's all we need you for.
Tell you what, hey, look, get your Red Bull. That's what I hear.
R6.
Maybe so.
All right, Coach, I know you have some pressing questions.
I've got a lot of things going on over here. I was looking down. I'm like, wow, look at all those words I wrote. That's pretty cool. Hey, on the 7th, by the way, on the Saturday, it's also Maddie Camp's birthday.
Man,
She'll be
there's so
16.
much stuff going on.
Way to go, Maddie Camp.
Maddie
Happy
Camp,
birthday, Maddie Camp.
Maddie Camp, daughter of Alicia.
Can
Daughter
you
Alicia.
quit slinging that nasty fly spot around?
I will, and I'm going to tell how old you are. On June 15th will be her birthday. We're having a special floss water day for her.
Nice.
I've got a golden floss water I'm going to give her.
Coach forces his.
So everybody's birthday in your family is
Yeah, apparently 9 months prior to June, it was a very
Busy
sexy
time.
month.
Busy time.
I don't know how to go backwards in that. What is that, October? That's scary. See what I did?
Yeah.
October, it's Halloween. That's a
Halloween.
big tie-in.
Scary times.
So
Come
I
on
didn't
up
hear.
and-
Did you say how old Maddie's going to be?
She's 16.
16. Okay.
Yeah, Mama going to be 49. Woo!
Whoa, you're going to be in trouble.
I am. It's all right.
Coach forces his wife and daughter to watch this.
I do.
So, hi, Alicia. Hi, Maddie.
Captive audience driving down the road. I'm like, hey, look, check out what's on the radio. Oh, my goodness, I didn't know that was playing. So, yep, we're driving. That's how we're doing it.
All right, you got 5 pressing questions you want to ask Jeff.
I have 5 pressing
So
questions.
hit
Oh, I
us
had
with-
one more
hit 'em
thing
with
about the
one.
kids, though. This is interesting.
More birthdays?
How many kids do you have?
We're looking for them. I don't know that.
We're looking for 'em.
I'm not sure if these
Two.
two are actually mine because I don't know if you knew this about my kids. You don't. They come from different women.
Yeah, so you have 3 kids.
I've collected them.
Yeah.
Well, no, but the two that are also mine came from different women. So Zach's got a different mama.
Yeah.
And then Maddie got my current wife, the floss water lady,
And then a stepson.
and then stepson. But you know that my 2 kids that came from my low-ends have red hair.
That's true.
They both
do.
have red hair.
My daughter has
So
red hair.
This is also a public service announcement. If more Povich is out there,
Yeah.
we're looking for the daddy.
So my daughter's redheaded too, and there's no red.
Maybe there's an
in my
O'Grady.
family.
Somebody
You
with the
are
last name
the
of
father.
O'Grady.
You are the father.
We're looking for Mr. O'Grady. If Mr. O'Grady could come to the front, please. Mr. O'Grady.
O'Grady.
Because he has to be an Irish guy, right?
O'Brien.
Oh, yes. That's what I like. All right, the 5 pressing questions. Are you ready, Jeffrey?
I don't know.
Well, the world wrote these things in.
Okay, let's do it.
So this is not my fault. Whatever this is, I don't even know what we're doing.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. First question. I think we already answered this, even though I didn't know we were going to answer it before we did it, but we've done it, and now it's answered. What would your wrestling name be? And that is on the questions.
What would my? Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. The Turd Birds.
The Turd
Started with
Bird.
that one.
If I was in a tag team.
If this
But
question,
if you're
it was
solo.
a solo person, you can't just be turd because that almost doesn't make sense.
Man, see, I can't
Big
answer
turd.
something like that on the spot.
Well, yeah, you can.
I
Just
got to come up with something. Cool.
Knowing Jeff, he would come up with something very funny and witty. He would.
Give me a few minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Think of like movies
Put that
and
in the
stuff.
queue.
Yes.
That one's in the queue.
It's in the queue.
All right.
Yeah.
Would you rather be
Yes.
funny or smart?
Mm.
These are the questions that come to me. I don't know. The people out there in the world ask these questions, not me.
Well, since I'm already funnier than I am smart,
Oh, you're going to
I'm
choose
gonna
it.
just say funny.
You're just going to choose the funny.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I'm gonna chime in here.
I
Jeff
have
is
no advanced degrees.
Okay.
Jeff is very funny,
Yes.
but he's selling himself short on smartness because this guy's a savant in certain areas that I.
You have mentioned that.
Oh my God!
It,
Yes, I have.
it has to be something I'm extremely interested in.
Ask him a question about a Corvette.
Yeah, cars and airplanes.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
cars
did say,
and
I
airplanes.
remember you talking
Yes.
about that. Hey, you want to know a funny fact about the airplane thing?
Sure.
So I have anxiety about sitting still in an airplane, but I'm fascinated by airplanes. When we're flying, I'm good.
Right.
And when we land and we're rolling, I'm good. But
you're
it's the
anxious,
sitting
the-
still part
yeah.
drives me nuts. So I started watching air disasters
Oh God.
on Smithsonian.
Yeah, that's a bad show.
And let me tell you something. This is ironic. People wouldn't notice this, but it hasn't actually made my anxiety any better.
Yeah.
Shocking.
weird.
Yeah.
I've always said the fact that there have been enough accidents that they could make a show out of them
Yes.
tells me I should walk.
Slightly
Walk. Yeah.
disturbing.
And here's something really strange about me. I'm not afraid of flying, but I hate the big jets. If you put me in a 2-seater, 4-seater Cessna,
yeah.
I'm happy as I can
no
be.
way, yeah.
Fascinating.
But I do not want to be in the big stuff. I actually took flying lessons when I was a teenager, so I have an idea of what to do if something goes wrong
Yeah.
in a small plane.
If you're in a 747, you're like, well, I guess
yeah, we're all screwed.
Yep. Going down.
Tell him the story of the little plane you had, and
Oh, we had an ultralight when I was a kid. I've like an idiot, and my dad wasn't very smart either for allowing this.
So he was funny too.
No, he was just an idiot.
Oh, okay. I tried. I threw it in there. I was trying to-
he threw in a quip.
But he bought an ultralight.
And what is an ultralight?
It
It's
is
a fishing rod.
You don't have to have a flying license to fly one. The one that he bought was just like it worked just like an airplane. It had ailerons, an elevator, rudder, it rudder pedals.
But you're kind of just sitting in a chair
it's just
on
one chair,
roll bars,
the
right?
Engine's behind you with a prop.
Yeah.
And
Oh, like a fan? The little
pretty
fan?
much.
I've seen those on
yeah,
TV.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I'd never flown in my life, and I took it off.
Oh.
Took it off and flew right up.
Was there a moment when you were up there you thought this might have been a bad idea?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Once you get like treetop level,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's real.
And then you're like, how do I get back
And
down?
you're like, I've never landed one of these.
Oh.
But fortunately, they have a very, very, very
Forgiving?
low stall speed.
Oh.
So they're very forgiving. So if you just have a working knowledge, you can get it back on the ground.
You once played a video game. You're like, I think I got this.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how often did you fly it after you took some lessons?
I got
and stuff?
never.
Okay.
We had it. We bought it. I flew it twice, and we did not have a hangar to put it inside, so it was outside. Windstorm came through. They're very lightweight, so it doesn't take much to tear them up.
Just blew away.
Blew it all to pieces, and my dad was like, "Yeah, we better sell this thing before something bad happens."
Yeah.
You sold,
Yeah,
sold
like
a
you
broken
dying.
airplane.
We sold a broke down airplane.
Well,
Somebody
that's
came there. I can
probably
fix that.
safe.
Okay. I'm not responsible for what happens after you fix it.
On the next air disaster show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that person could be on there.
It's a okay. All right, so here's your next question.
Okay.
It's the big question coming out of
God.
North Central America in Europe. What are, if any, a secret talent?
Oh well.
I know what I know.
Oh,
I know what you need to say.
Yeah, I'll say it. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Here we go.
Coach, you're gonna love this.
I'm
Well,
glad they sent the question.
this came from the pre-show discussion about the song that we listened to. As a very young teenager, I'm say 13, 14, 15, I was one hell of a breakdancer.
What?
Yeah.
Pop and lock style?
No.
Head
This was head spin.
What?
Windmills spinning on your back.
He knows
I was,
all the music from them.
Oh, dude, I was nuts. I was good.
So this
really
this
good.
comes up in an interview for the rhythm section.
Okay.
And I was blown away. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Video of this? That'd be great.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, this was a time before everybody had a cell phone, so there are no videos.
I wish there was some
God.
VHS of this. But I think did it come up with Kyla and CJ?
Maybe.
So
I think that's right.
So I'll just say we're interviewing R&B artists, African American R&B artists that grew up in that culture.
Right.
All of a sudden, Jeff starts spitting out artist names and moves. They're blown away. Then I'm the only white guy in the room.
Yeah.
Well, how did this happen?
It transitions.
Holy smokes, I was blown away by it.
You got street cred, though.
I've known this guy so long, too.
Yeah.
I never
you
knew.
know people out there, so.
Yeah. Anybody that graduated South Haven High School around 1989 will tell you that I was.
Hey, was the movie Breakin' a big part of your inspiration? I remember watching that.
More than that movie, there was a movie called Beat Street.
I don't remember.
It came out around the same time as Breakin'.
Okay.
Beat Street was a phenomenal movie. Yeah. And it had a huge
Did you ever go to
influence.
Lollipops and throw down on
absolutely.
that little... I won a dance contest there once.
But it was not called Lollipops.
What was it called?
Before Lollipops, there was another name, and it's escaping me because I'm old and I forget things.
Wow.
That's your wrestling name, Lollipop.
Oh.
I like it.
Nice. I once had a bad experience with a woman in a lollipop.
What would be a good...
It's a true story. It's a true
His
story.
quips come so fast. They
But it's
fly
fact.
over.
It's just so fact.
But what would your finisher be? You're wrestling. You're going to beat the guy. What would be a good breakdance move?
Yeah, you got to come up
that's
with
true.
something.
That's good.
Head
I like how we're
spin,
blending
drop
this.
kick.
Yeah, I mean, you can head spin and those legs are going out.
Just whack.
Whacking. It's like a propeller, just like the airplane. See what I did? We just tied it all together. Pow, whoop, pow.
Don't hit my camera.
Wouldn't be the first time. All right, so great. Break dance.
Yeah.
Popper locker, that was me.
Yeah.
Couldn't do the spin so well. Turned out that I got some back rub rash thing happening. It was like, we just don't want to go there anymore. All right, so here's number 4. You ready for number 4? You're doing
I don't
good.
know. These
All
are
right, we're still
kind
going
of
to go back
personal.
to your name with wrestling.
Right.
It gets dirty. Here we go. So tell me about why you love playing country music so much.
I have gone through some really weird phases as both a listener of music and a player of music. After my breakdancing days, then I loved the late 80s hair music, Motley Crue, Whitesnake, Great White, all these crazy bands. But then I got married in 93. And of course, we all know what was happening to that type of music. It was fading out, and grunge was coming in.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a huge fan of grunge at the time, so I started listening to country music. And from probably 93, 94 up until the time I met you.
Which was a good era of...
Yeah, I listened to a lot of country music all the way from the Clint Black, Tracy Lawrence era up to the modern Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, Luke Combs, and all that stuff.
Which is
stuff.
A lot of that Luke Combs, Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan stuff is what Derrick Joseph used to do a lot of.
What was the question?
Well, it was tell me why you like playing country music. So.
Yeah, and honestly, as a drummer, most country music, this is not all, but most, is pretty easy to play.
Okay.
Drummer, country music is pretty straightforward, not a whole lot of craziness. Now, there are exceptions to every rule, but most of it's pretty easy to
much
play.
like the bass lines too. Call it you call it stock parts. Stock grooves, stock bass lines, stock drum beats. I mean, you can learn a couple train beats, a 2/4 beat, and you're playing a ton of country music.
Play most every set list that's out there.
Yeah,
I tell you what, when you guys got some free time, I say we put together another band.
Sure.
And it's going to be country, and I'm going to go in my wife's direction. She's DJ Slow It Down, as we've already talked about before.
DJ Slow It Down.
Miss Lullaby is also what she's known as on the internet. When she plays her playlist, it's I need to sound hey.
Oh, that's crying your beer country.
Crying your beer.
And I'm like, I've got Korn coming on. Right behind that, some Rage Against the Machine.
Well, look.
And then she's like,
look, throughout our friendship, and we've played in a bunch of different projects together, there was 2 things we've always been like, man, that'd be fun. A 80s, 90s country band.
Right.
Okay.
And a Huey Lewis band.
Well, you got one.
Have
going
we
on.
not been saying that
No,
forever?
we've been saying it for years.
So now we have brought the Huey to light.
So
It's
one's
happening.
coming true.
One's coming true.
Let me help you make the other one.
But the other one would be fun. You know, my idea would be, and I'm stealing this from, it's not Wild Horse Saloon anymore, but the bar in Nashville.
Isn't it Aldean's now?
No, that's a different spot.
Okay.
And my buddy just told me I forget what it is now, but
it's an artist's bar now. It's named after somebody.
Every damn bar down on Nashville's an artist.
There's
name.
one of them that Morgan Wallen throws chairs off.
Yeah, right.
Heard about it.
But what they used to do, I don't know what they do anymore. But when it was the Wild Horse Saloon, you know, when the bands would play, each shift, anytime a band was playing, the venue would hire some line dance coaches, line dance teachers, and didn't matter what the song was. It could be a Motley Crue song.
They line dancing.
They would figure it out, and the dancers would face the stage, and anyone that wanted to join would stand behind them and just follow them.
Yeah, sure.
And you know,
that's how white people learn how to dance.
Right,
absolutely.
And then during set breaks, then those teachers would get up on stage. They got headsets on. Now they're playing a line dance song and, okay, go left, right, teach, you know, just to keep them entertained during the set break. And then the band would come back up, and then the teachers would go on the floor, rinse and repeat. Right. I think that'd be awesome.
I think we could even add some flavor. So we do that, and then whenever the line dance starts, Jeff jumps down, starts breakdancing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Just mixing this thing up.
My breakdancing days are over.
Watch the old white women be like, I can't do that. My hip will be thrown.
We need him to be able to drum. We don't need a broken down.
Real breakdancing. Lord have mercy.
Health insurance will not cover me breakdancing.
Yeah, that's my old woman voice, by the way.
But that era of country is fun to play. It's good music. You know, it's he and I both make fun of the Aldean era stuff. It gets old to play, and it's got some rock. It's more heavy rock country.
Yeah, it is.
But that classic 80s, 90s country, man, is just fun.
Back when they still used a steel guitar.
Oh,
yeah.
In country music.
A little bit of banjo.
Aldean actually has a steel guitar player, but that's bull crap.
Yeah.
And you can't even hear it.
And you hear banjo in some of the modern stuff,
Yeah.
but it's only there to give it
country.
the slight country feel to it.
Tell you what, if we need a banjo player, I stopped at a place in Alabama to use the restroom, talked about it on last episode. I think there's one there.
You're the only. Yeah,
That's what he said to me when I
need to
walked
talk
in.
to.
I'm like, oh, where's the banjo at? Okay.
So we got one more, right?
I got one more
Number
question
5.
here. This is a little bit tough, so you got to really use your
I don't have a drum roll, but
You should have asked me yes or no questions.
Well, that's not as interesting. And I didn't write these. People from around the world did.
Okay.
I think this one's coming to you from Spain, France.
Spain.
So this is a complicated question, but I'm going to see if I can do it justice. So Britney Spears is known on Instagram for standing in her living room and doing specific dance moves. If you had an Instagram account, what would people know you for?
like a dance move? Or
Whatever. What would they know him for? So Britney Spears, for those that don't know, in the Instagram world, she is infamously famous for standing in her living room and doing a spin with her hair
nuts.
and then pulling her pants all the way down to just above the
Please don't do
shot,
that, Jeff.
and then dancing and hair and then hair. And so women are always talking about this on Instagram. Why do I know? I have a wife. And she shows me all the time. Look at her. She done lost her mind again. And so this person wants to know, if you had an Instagram account, what would people know you for? That's what they know Britney for now.
What would make you go viral?
Oh, God.
Besides a Friday night.
Yeah.
Because we know about Triple I Go that you got. And
It doesn't have to be dancing.
Yes.
That's just her thing.
Yeah, I know. What would I do on Instagram?
What would you want to talk about?
I guess
the
they
most?
would know. They would probably know that I'm a co-host of a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
But outside of that, your home, your own account, what would you want to talk about the most outside of music?
outside of music.
I mean, I think cars, right?
Oh.
Cars, planes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess cars is probably the biggest
Yeah.
hobby. Home
can see
theater.
that.
I'm a big home theater nut.
Oh, Coach.
I love that.
That's
got a
right.
theater.
Coach has got
I got one.
a
I've
theater
built one.
that
It took me
he's
2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know why Derrick hasn't come over and seen it.
I still have not been invited to
I
his
keep asking.
theater yet.
I don't know what's going on.
We'll come and see yours if you'll come over and see ours.
Oh, that sounds like a dirty plan.
The cars. That's a good answer.
Okay.
Cars.
What would you be known for then, Derrick?
Oh goodness.
Oh, God.
I know what I'd be known for.
What would you be known for?
Cannonballing.
Cannonballing
That's what I would do. So
I don't know this podcasting.
I'm thinking about doing that. Start an Instagram where all I do
DJ.
is every day do a cannonball video and put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Every day.
Go.
And
There
you
you
just
go.
wear different outfits.
Yeah.
Cowboy hat. I was actually kind of disappointed too. Whenever you were talking about why you love country music, I was really hoping there would be some pointy cowboy boots that inspired you
No.
or a really large cowboy hat.
No.
I was going to be excited.
Did you ever
about
wear a hat?
I did wear a hat for a period of time.
I used to have cowboy boots.
Yeah,
I used to
I
wear
never
cowboy
wore
boots.
boots because I just couldn't walk in them.
that. Oh.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure
You
them
sure
out.
couldn't break dance in them bad
No,
boys. You're going to
no.
hurt something.
But
Throw
yeah,
an
I
ankle.
wore a hat for a few years.
Yeah, I used to wear boots when I moved to Nashville. I got some boots, and that was my gig wear.
I tell you
Boots.
what, can you please put those boots back on and wear that sombrero that you had the other day?
Oh yeah, Coach rolled in with a sombrero one day.
It was for Cinco de Mayo. We were celebrating, right? I'm ethnically diverse. Yeah, so you wait till you see what I'm wearing for Pride Month next. All right, so I'm just saying, you can say anything out here. It's fine. All right, so that's it. That's all the 5. You never went back to the wrestling.
Well,
anymore.
I mean, I got to go with Lollipop.
Lollipop's pretty
Lollipop's
funny.
it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, I'm taking that one.
Yeah, and the finisher is something pop, like the head spin pop or
Yeah.
something.
Head spin pop.
Spin crusher.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That's going to be a neck breaker.
But I don't know. I don't know if I'm a brief guy
Uh-oh.
or if I'm a
pants.
with a strap that I can.
You
pull
can do the
down.
singlet like Lawler did.
Yeah.
He did the singlet, the one strap singlet.
I mean, I could be like Dusty Rhodes, the fat guy with the briefs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's
you
how
could,
Dusty.
and you could do the polka dot WWF era.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They had polka dots?
Dusty, yeah.
Yeah.
Dusty did.
Dusty Rhodes had black shorts
And
and shirt.
I'm going to blow your mind.
Here we go.
I know his boy was Gold Dust.
Yep, good job.
See? I know some things.
Yeah. You know, he has a second son wrestling right
Didn't
now.
know that.
Cody Rhodes.
Oh, that's right. He's the AEW, right?
No, well, he used to be.
Started out
He went
there.
back and forth, but
Okay.
yeah, up until John Cena healed him.
Oh, no.
And stole the Universal Championship from him at WrestleMania 41.
No.
He was the champion all last year. Yeah.
Okay. All right. See, I'm not nearly as knowledgeable as you.
I got a question for you. You're from Maine. Mm-hmm. Now, you're from here.
I'm from here.
I don't know if this played up in Maine, but I know you know about it. Back when I was in high school, they used to do this thing. You said healed him. Mm-hmm. Down here, what healed him meant was you ran up, you grabbed somebody's head, and you shoved it in your crotch, and you said, "You've been healed." Did y'all ever do that? No. Do you remember this? Did this ever happen to you over South Haven?
This did not happen to
Well,
me.
apparently that was a
thankfully.
Horn Lake thing. Sorry about that, boys. I've exposed
You've been
Horn Lake.
healed.
That was the thing. That was like if you were sitting down, especially in the locker room or something, somebody come out, "You're healed," and it's like, "Oh snap!" You got to be careful.
Did you graduated Horn Lake?
I did.
What year?
92.
Okay. I was 89. So did you happen to know Valerie Shantz?
No.
She probably graduated 89 or a little bit before you. So
Yeah. What did she do?
she's just somebody I knew. I didn't know very many people from Horn Lake, but she was somebody I knew from Horn Lake.
I knew some of the guys that you probably went to school with.
South Haven people. We didn't associate with you guys that much.
I knew the baseball
Yep,
guys.
yep.
I knew like Chris Plumley, Jack, Deaton, maybe.
Michael Deaton.
Michael
Yep.
Deaton. Yeah, I was trying to think of it. Yep.
Yep.
So I knew some of the baseball players, but they were older than me.
Cool.
But we all played in leagues together. And
I loved sports, but I was just not athletic enough.
well, it was
to
just baseball that I was good
participate.
at. So
Back to Jeff's likings, big sports guy, baseball.
Oh, what's your favorite
hockey.
team?
Baseball is the Cubs.
Okay.
Hockey is the Penguins.
All right.
NFL, I really don't care.
Big time Indy right here.
Yeah, Indy car racing.
Nice.
I love race cars.
My father-in-law loved it. He was so amazing. And I say this sincerely. It's funny and it's sincere. He could sleep in his recliner and wake up and know what lap they're on. I'm what the? How do you do it with your telepathic?
That's just that twilight state where
I
you're
swear.
almost asleep, but you're still comprehending what's going on.
I can see how a race can lull you to sleep. The
Yeah.
sound of the racing and the
If you're not there,
engines.
I can imagine. Yes.
Well, yeah, not while you're
It's
there.
going to
yeah.
keep you awake occasionally. Just, whoa, what was that? Oh,
Man,
nice.
I
Hello.
I saw help me with this, Jeff. It was NASCAR, but not NASCAR, like the level below it.
Well, that was
It was at Bristol.
Yeah, it used to be called the Busch Grand
I was gonna say
National
Busch,
Series, but it's been they changed sponsors.
you
so
know what
much.
I'm talking about,
It's
though.
the one step below.
It's sort of like the minor league
yeah.
of NASCAR.
Right.
So I was at one of those races in Bristol at that raceway. Mackenzie's Mill. We had we had a gig there and everything. And man,
yeah.
so loud. It's so fun to watch. But I forget why. But me and one of my buddies walked down right to the wall. We're right to the wall.
Yeah.
To go get something.
Right.
And the cars were on the other side of the track when we were at the wall, thinking of nothing, just talking, shooting the breeze. And all of a sudden, and rubber chunks are flying in our face and just debris.
Sounds like a good
It
Friday
was
night.
so loud. I was like, wow. It is crazy how fast those, I mean, the television doesn't do it justice. And I was with Jeff watching some of the Indy race.
Yep.
These cars are doing over 200 miles an hour. And the screen doesn't do it justice. How fast these cars are going.
But they have that camera down there, so I get what you're saying. So you hear them go.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Look, I'm not even. Go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
Mine's about horses.
Oh,
Because horsepower, it got in my head. I have ADD.
take me a
so don't worry
second
about
to
that.
recover
It's
from
just
that.
one of those situations. So, it all goes back and forth. It's not about a donkey show, so don't worry about that. It's just horses.
well, we used to have a track here in Millington.
No, that's right.
There was a drag strip and there was an oval, and the truck series used to come here and race. But a place I worked years ago, one of the guys that worked there was also a part-time bush driver. And they had a Saturday or a Sunday where you could come and ride in the car with a professional driver. And since we worked with him, he got us passes and we went and did this.
Cool.
So the main problem that you have if you're overweight is getting in and out of the thing.
Oh, because the doors don't open.
It is not easy.
Yeah,
I mean, you're crawling through the window.
Through the window, through the roll cage and all this stuff.
Yeah, a whole new experience for Bo and Luke Duke.
That's right.
I got in the car, and my first thought is, if there's a wreck or a fire, I can't get out of this thing in time.
I've seen some big girls like that with some tight jeans.
They buckle you in, and the cars are loud. There's a wide open exhaust. There's no mufflers on a race car. So he's yelling. We're not using a radio. We're yelling at one another. The driver looks over at me and he's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do this." He's like, "You sure?" I said, "Man,
you're strapped in."
Yeah,
right?
you're strapped in. You're ready to go." And I said this. I yelled this as loud as I could. I said, "Drive it like you stole it. And if you don't make me throw up, you're fired." Bad idea.
Okay. Because I got it.
We left the pits sideways, and when it finally grabbed traction as you're entering the turn, we're probably already up to 100 miles an hour. This is a short track, so you're not going super speedway speeds.
Yeah.
I would say that probably the top speed we probably hit was 140, 150 in the straights.
Fast, though, yeah. But hitting the turns.
That's the thing is that freaks you out, is because you're coming up to the turn, and he's not letting off.
Right.
You're slingshot
when
engaged.
You're like, how is this car going to stay stuck to the ground? Somehow they do.
Yeah, pucker factor.
Yeah, and it was amazing.
How many laps did you?
I don't remember. It was 3 or 4 laps, and I'm pinned over here the whole time. And just amazing, an amazing feeling.
Must have been cool.
It was unreal. And I noticed, the first thing I noticed is I was disoriented. Like I didn't know where on the track I was. Things were happening so fast. And I'm like, how do you guys even know the pits are coming up? Like I would go right past them, but it's just
they're just trained,
and they do it so much.
I know that feeling when my daughter drives.
Yeah,
Just pinned up against
I get
the
it.
wall all the time. Keep my eyes closed. I'm really nervous.
It doesn't get any better.
So it's like this right here. So it's like, what is that thing they used to have? 60 seconds ago. Was it Tokyo Drift? Or Tokyo Drift?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, something like that. So the horse thing, let me go back to that.
Yeah,
for a
let's
second.
do the horse
So it's
thing.
funny because what you're talking about with the cars is very different, but still similar. The first time I went to a horse race at Oaklawn in Arkansas, I never understood the power of these things. We got down close, like what you're talking about. It was like on the first row. And the first time them horses come barreling past us, you feel the percussion coming off the ground. They're just,
Isn't that wild?
I was like, woo! My wife's like, stop it, stop you be so loud. I said, girl. And then I went and bet, and so because I was fired up, and I went and I did a trifecta, and I'm like, ooh, come on, we're gonna get this. So you can vote like to place, to win, whatever. So place is just if they come in the top 3.
Right.
So I voted on 3 different horses to place.
Right.
All 3 horses came in either first, second, or third, but I didn't do a perfect trifecta on it, so it was just a place. Man, I think I have a $2 bet. I'm rich. I won like $8.
$2 bet.
That was not a lot of money on that one. So you really got to you got to bet on the far shot that's got like a 1 in 9 million chance, and then they win. And you're like, bonus, 25 cents just won me 25 million. So yeah, that's
Now is that something you go to often, or did you just one time?
No, I've been about 3 or 4 times.
I would love to go to one of the big ones, like Preakness Oaks or any of those.
Kentucky Derby. I
would be
did the
great.
marathon in Louisville, and we ran on the Kentucky Derby track. And to be honest with you, it's actually there's a little bit of a, not like this, but like a little bit of a climb when they're going, like you see the cars, it's like this on the cars, right? Because when we ran Indianapolis, we got to run on part of the track, and it's like this on the curves.
Right.
But the horses, I was surprised that there's a little bit of a, for them to tilt and run on. Not a lot, but a little bit. I was surprised by that. But yeah, I've been about 3 or 4 times.
The Kentucky Derby, that track is what, 2 miles or a mile?
Oh, don't give me a line on that one.
It's like a mile and a half or something. It's pretty.
It's a distance.
To a human, it's a long
How many
way.
laps is the race?
The Kentucky Derby is just one.
It's just one lap.
Yeah,
all out.
All that build up for what 60-second race?
Oh, and something that might be interesting to you, much probably like a NASCAR driver, but jockeys in those areas are like celebrities.
Yeah,
and they can't hide. Because when a 3-foot tall man walks into a restaurant, everybody knows
that's
if you're
a jockey.
Everybody's like, that's a jockey.
He's either a jockey or a midget.
Yeah, and it's and ultimately they're going to be still hounded for an autograph.
Right.
Either way.
If you're short and you don't ride horses, go to those places. People are going to think you're a celebrity. So that's a true story. I do have one thing to say. So we're talking about breakdancing. How much time we got?
Dude, we can go as long as we want. Right? This podcast.
Actually, where I'm going to next
10, 15 minutes.
is I can't stay too much longer, but I can stay a little bit.
Oh, that's right. You got things to do, don't
I got
you?
things. But here's the thing. It's about that. You're talking about breakdancing. You're talking about spin on your head. Okay. So I have neck problems. I don't know if you follow everything I do, so I know you've seen it. So I've been going to like dry needling. Have you ever heard of this?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, so it's a physical therapy. So they put the needle in and out of my neck, and then they started cupping, where they do the suction cup. Got hickeys all over.
I've seen that.
Have been doing that, and it ain't helping a lot.
Okay.
And I got like this neck thing. It's all in, and I'm thinking if I'm spinning on my head, all this is already flared up already. And so I'm like, man, I'm dying. It's so tight, it hurts. So I started calling around. I got a massage therapy at 2:00 today.
Okay.
Have you ever gotten a good massage? You've never had a massage?
I have not.
If you're talking deep tissue,
Yeah. That's where I'm going.
don't think you're
Not
going
sensual, not
No, but because I've had massages
oils,
and I've had deep tissue. You're not going to a spa and relaxing with a deep tissue.
They're
this is
fixing,
gonna be
they're
a
fixing
scream
to work
session.
you.
They're going to work you.
torture session.
Yes.
For an hour. And I'm paying for this crap.
Yes.
So yeah, but that's what I'm about to go to. And I'm just thinking, I want it to be good, but it's probably going to hurt.
Yeah.
And in the end, I was just curious. If you've never had a massage, then you can't answer this. Have you ever had a massage?
Yeah.
Do they ever massage your head? Because if I was a masseuse and I'm coming across your head, I'm like, I got to rub that too.
Like the Bugs Bunny episode.
Oh, yeah, it's a great. Yes, only people our age know about that cartoon, but yes, it's the same one people smoked in. So yeah, and here's the funny thing. So I've gotten massages from time to time, especially when we go out of town, like on a vacation somewhere. I don't know. We'll go to a resort and they have the massage package. I'll go to it, and it's funny because it's never about sexuality for me, but it is always about I can't enjoy the thing if the dude is a dude. It needed to be a girl. Always needs to be a girl.
I totally understand.
Yeah,
It needs to be a
absolutely.
girl
Yeah.
for me.
It is odd if a guy is massaging your buttock.
Unless you're doing like a chop, if you're doing a chop motion and you're like roughy, I'm like, I'm all right. That's all right. Cool, man. Cool. But like for me to really relax my shoulders.
If you walk into this deep tissue today and it's a big barley 6-foot dude,
I'm peeing my pants.
You're in trouble.
You're a Seinfeld fan. Do you remember? Did you see the one where George was getting a massage? He's like, I think it moved.
I was not a Seinfeld fan.
Were you not?
At the time. Now I get it.
Yeah.
Years later, I'm watching reruns and I'm like, that's actually really funny.
Oh,
It's pretty
great
witty.
show,
Yeah. They were edgy for that time.
Yeah.
They hit on topics that were taboo-ish.
Right.
The famous one was the contest.
Oh yes.
Where the contest is who can go longest without pleasing themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal. And I follow some Seinfeld related Facebook pages. So I get to see all these different little stories.
Right.
And NBC did not.
They did not want that one to go.
Aired, and they tried to stop it. And Jerry and Larry David convinced them. They're like, no, we got to do it. It's funny. And it's it's the most watched episode in the history of the show.
Yeah. George won, by the way. I know that.
That's right. Yeah. What made it funny is Elaine, the woman, lost quickly.
Yeah. JFK did it to her, man. JFK. Yeah. So look, it's funny too.
Kramer was the first one to lose.
Yeah, which was because the lady was vacuuming across the street.
The scene is.
We know too much about it.
This is all over my head.
George, Lorraine, and Jerry in Jerry's apartment talking Seinfeld stuff.
Yeah.
And who barrels through the door like he does
Right.
is Kramer.
Slams some money down.
I'm out! Bam! And puts his money on the table.
So good. So funny stuff.
First one out. And it took him like a day or something.
Right.
Hey, look, I know that we're at the end, but I want to recap something. Can I?
Go for it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
How did your event do? Because remember, we built up to our stuff before last weekend.
My event?
Didn't you have some stuff
What event?
That I talked about.
that you were promoing? Or maybe it was promoing.
Oh, is he talking about Thomas's?
I don't know if I
benefit?
mentioned that. I think I was just talking about roosters. And
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't remember. 'Cause I had some speaking events that came into that.
Yes.
For like Friday.
Yes,
Saturdays,
we talked about. I think I really just
Saturday,
talked about
Sunday,
Arts
Monday.
Council and then the Roosters.
That's probably
thing.
what it was.
But but there was a big event at Roosters just by coincidence.
Yeah.
For a pillar of this community, as we've learned. His name is Thomas Halfaker.
I've seen his stuff everywhere now
got-
since y'all posted that. Yeah.
It's stage 4 cancer, but I don't know if it's his throat or his tongue or mouth.
It's in that area,
Yeah.
general area, tumors that they're dealing with.
Going through a rough patch. Well, I don't want to bury anyone in this, but what happened was he was diagnosed. He did surgery,
Mhm.
and they thought they got it all. And then pain started coming back in this early spring, and then tumors grew to the point where if they wanted to operate now, he's losing his tongue and voice
Oh,
box.
dang.
Yeah.
So now he's going into chemo to bring the tumors
reduce
down,
it. Yeah.
and then surgery. So they just had a huge benefit for him.
Yeah.
Raised tons of money.
I saw some stuff about that on
thousands
social
of dollars.
media. I
It
did.
was a huge event. I mean, you can always judge the character of somebody when something like this happens and you see the outpouring for some people.
Sure.
Some people just don't know a lot of people, so it's not saying that person's bad.
Right.
But Thomas Halfaker is what we've learned is just an amazing person, but also been integral in the music scene. And
Right.
Jeff knows him from back in the day.
Well, actually, I don't.
But you know of him because he's
sure.
been a sound guy, light guy in a lot of venues and Stage Stop
Right.
is like the legendary place in Memphis. So people just poured into this place and donated money and items for auctions, and they raised thousands for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ironically, you're talking about that. One of the events I spoke at was the Cancer Survivor Day.
Nice.
That's right.
That
Yeah.
was DeSoto.
Okay. Yeah.
And ironically enough, and so Jeff, you may not know this about me. I have a lot of energy. All right. So I'm pretty low key here.
I figured that
like
out
in
pretty
here,
quick.
I'm pretty low key. But
Okay.
in other places, I'm pretty hyper and talk a lot. So I go and speak at this thing, and I got to be honest with you. You've been around me now some. You've seen a lot of my speaking events. I
Yes.
feel very comfortable talking in front of a group of people, hundreds of people. It doesn't bother me at all. Man, I got to tell you, I was nervous talking at that one. I think it's because of the brevity of it. And, it's not something I can relate to on a personal level. Most things that I speak at, I can empathize, sympathize. I felt it. I've dealt it.
Yeah.
I've been there with it. That, even though Flosswater Lady had melanoma, it's still,
Can you
she's
quit
right there.
flinging
I
that
will.
nasty fly spot
One of
around?
these days, maybe. Just keep asking. And
Was she talking to you?
yes, oh, 100%. Okay. Yeah, I was swinging it around. You don't get next to that lady's head with the floss water. So I felt kind of nervous about it, and I even voiced it over the mic. And normally I'll go a 15-minute easy, and I think I cut it at 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Well, I just didn't want to say something
Understand.
that was out of, it would be something that I had a good intention on, but it could be taken wrong, and I just didn't know how to navigate the conversation. So I only spoke for 5 minutes on that.
Yeah.
And I came off there, and Alicia's like, you did a good job. It's like, you don't understand. That's not a coach camp moment.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it in the sense of I didn't think I could deliver that encouraging message to people that I haven't fought that struggle.
Right.
with.
Understand.
So I fully respect people that have gone through that journey and are going through that journey.
Oh, yeah.
Half-Acre's talking about
He's
that.
in so much pain.
It's an inspiration to people everywhere that haven't dealt with that kind of stuff. Just knowing that you're willing to face that battle you didn't ask for.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that was less than Coach Camp moment, but I got to tell you that I followed up the next day, that Monday, with going and speaking to Southwest Tennessee Community College leadership group, and it was about 40 or 50 college kids. And when I walked in, they start talking. This is a true story. And the person come up before me, does a little bit of a talk, like 10, 15 minutes, but very collegiate. He's very collegiate. He's like, and I don't know that these are the words. I'm sorry, Jeff. You probably think this guy's very academic. No, I don't know why they let me at the college. I have no idea why I'm there. I teach people. I don't know why. And so I go in and he's like, the choices you make today, I'm just making this part up, are going to impact you tomorrow.
Right.
Which is why every day you've got to go and got to chase your goals. And he's talking, he's very academic.
Dry.
Yeah, he's,
he's a good dude.
Very professional.
Very professional.
Yeah.
That's really the word. He's very professional. And I look over and I'm watching him because I'll go next. And I'm looking over at the crowd, and the kids are just like slumped there. And then you got the phone people. You got these people doing this.
Coach
thing.
is fixing to fire this place up.
And guess who came into like you ever see those TV shows where it's got like the little bubble that pops up and it's got a video playing in the bubble, and the person's think it's like the think thought bubble. Guess who was in that bubble? You, Derrick.
Me?
You were there.
Why
you were talking to me, and you said, Coach, this is your voice. It's almost like Field of Dreams. It's different, but because you were in a bubble thought, which is kind of cool. But
I'm honored.
You were there, and you were like leaning in, and you said, Coach, go full fire.
That's it.
That's what he said, and I'm like, I'll do it.
And that's a big bubble. That's a big bubble. So
I was looking at Derrick at the time. I wanted to make eye contact, and I felt like you were there. I'm like, I'll do it, Derrick. I'm going to do it.
So
I'll make you proud.
I'm going to fill you in, Jeff, on what fire. So Coach has levels. And full fire can scare people.
I got it.
So there's been some events where I'm like, Coach, this probably isn't a venue in a situation for full fire.
Understand.
But Coach, close off the Motivate with Coach Camp podcast to give them an idea of some fire.
Thank you for tuning in. Go to my website, motivatewithcoachcamp.com. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube. And until next time, Coach Camp out. And that's how I finish up.
Yeah.
I want to make sure you're awake.
Jeff
when we
looks
leave.
scared.
That felt like wrestling.
Yes.
He would be an amazing manager.
Absolutely.
The promos this guy could cut.
I am going to finish with that story for me, and then I'll listen whatever. But so here's the thing. I hear your voice. I talk back to you. People looked at me. They thought I was weird. I didn't care. I got up. They didn't even introduce me, which was kind of odd. When the guy sat down, we're done, the person facilitating just looks at me. She's like, go. I'm like, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Time to go.
She's like, that's okay. So I got my phone set up. I hit my record. And then I looked over at her. This is true. And I have it on video. And I looked at her and I said, I hope they're ready because I'm about to cannonball. And I turned around and I said, let's go. And I just come across that room and you saw them kids like, And they were like,
went full fire.
They were like, what's happening? And then I get up, man, and I'm like in their face and I'm going at it and I'm giving them the fire. And then I'm like, if you want to sleep through this, then you're going to sleep through the rest of your life. It's time to get up and get going. Your goals are not coming to you. Yeah. And for 22 minutes, I went full tilt Randy Macho Man Savage.
Love it.
Oh, yeah. What you gonna do?
They were like, what's happening?
What is going on here?
And so then I took out a pile of my cards at the end. This is how I finish it. And I smack it on the table, Kramer style. And then I throw a challenge at them, and I tell them about how I choose to run 2 miles every single day to keep myself accountable, to make sure that I have self-discipline. I'm challenging you for 365 days, starting today on June 2nd. You go out there and you find something to hold yourself accountable. Come up here and get one of my cards, and you call me, and you let me know. And then the kid,
okay.
And then you see them coming up, and they're like taking a card. Now I think maybe they feel like they're hostage.
Right.
Now they're taking the card. They're very nervous. They're like, I don't feel like I have an option. I have to take the card. That does blend to wrestling. One last thing for me, and then I want to hear everything y'all have to say, and we'll finish up with whatever you got.
Sound insane.
Thank you. Thank you. So I was given a suggestion.
Okay.
Of how, at the
after
end,
this.
No.
This is something different.
This is prior to and just a wrestling comment.
Okay.
And you think about it.
Okay.
So, squirrel. And there it is. I was, we were talking at school and they were giving suggestions about, at the end of every semester, I do a motivational something for my students. This last year, I wrote my 3rd rap song. You got
to hear this guy rap.
Very inspirational.
If you could still break dance, you guys could go on tour.
We're going to just get a cardboard, go out here on the corner, make some money. So they said, you should bring wrestler to the classroom dressed as Randy Macho Man Savage. And my first thought was, yeah, but man, it gets cold in those rooms and those little briefs they wear ain't going to be flannery. So can you do a censor button on
Well,
that?
there's an era of Macho Man where he wore the long pants.
Okay, so
There
just
you
had
go.
some breeches.
Britches.
Yeah, that's a better idea.
But
'cause I
they're
don't know-
tights. They're tights. They're
Yeah, I
like,
just don't know where the lines can be crossed at school. And I'm like, do I leave a shirt on? Do I take a shirt off? I'm not sure how that's going to work. But in the end, I thought that's a pretty good idea. That would be a fun one.
I could show you a picture of a perfect
Outfit.
Macho Man outfit that
Okay.
would be absolutely
Appropriate for school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying not
Yes.
to become a national sensation for the wrong reason.
No Ultimate Warrior outfits.
You know, exactly. So I think that's probably what I'm going to try to go with. I would love to see this outfit then.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's got a hat, a cowboy hat. So now you get to wear a hat. You get to wear
yes.
tassels hanging off your
very pretty.
your jacket.
That's even Paul
Dangle.
Stanley. I mean, you're
Dangly.
Oh, yeah, and you get to walk in big and oops. Now I'm the one hitting the
Yeah,
camera.
well, I've taught you everything you know.
Well, look. Speaking of, we'll wrap with this. Speaking of, speaking publicly. I don't know what me and Jeff got ourselves into. Come tomorrow,
Oh, I thought you
listening
meant
to this.
today, right now. I'm
No.
like, yeah, I don't know either. But
No,
yeah,
tomorrow. You're listening to this on Published Day. Tomorrow, come visit us because
Yes.
we don't know what to expect.
You may get to be interviewed.
We don't know what to expect. It's going to be a first, obviously for us, but for me, I've never done this. I don't know how people are going to take it. Hey, if anyone shows up, success, happy, thank you.
Yes.
But are they going to actually sit back and like listen to us or just talk and not care? We don't know. We don't know what to expect. It's going to be weird, but fun. Right?
Yeah.
I could buy everyone a round of drinks.
Oh, loosen up the
Beforehand.
crowd. Loosen them up.
That might be a hefty price tag.
Be a little
there,
more
buddy.
money than I can afford.
100 people show up. Jeff's like, damn.
God dang.
And we're not making any money.
Oh, we're not making any money anyway.
Well, the
But-
singing gig afterwards.
To tie in with Thomas Halfaker, the gentleman we just talked about,
Yes.
to try to help in some way, we're going to have a tip bucket, and all the tips go to him.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
go.
Yeah, none of the tips are going to us.
Nope.
Yep.
That's all going to Thomas.
That's good.
Well, Jeff Ward, man, this is fun.
This was a blast.
This was fun doing this outside of our show where we can really just talk about whatever.
It is different.
Yeah.
It was fun. And
Covered some very important stuff.
Absolutely.
We now know what you're going to do if you have an Instagram thing and just lots of cool stuff. Wrestler names.
my wrestling name is Lollipop.
Lollipop.
And that also works for my breakdancing name.
Okay, yes. I tell you what, you really need to go watch the episode of Cannonball when I talk about the lady in the waiting room with the lollipop. Oh my God.
Oh, it was one of those.
She was wearing that mother out.
Oh, I did
And
that.
you came up.
I
I told that story.
I should have because I did it one day on the podcast. I'm over there smacking on something. I
Of
don't-
cough drop.
cough drop. And Derrick's like, Jeff, you got to stop.
And
Don't realize that it's all coming.
oh, that story came up.
Amplified.
That's how I tied it. I tied
Nice.
you in on that one. But,
Yeah, it was traumatic. I still wake up cold sweat.
well, I think it's time to.
Cannonball!
What a fun one, Jeff. That was a lot of fun.
It was cool.
Thanks for
And
joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
We'll do it again.
Anytime. Doesn't have to be interviewing you.
Yeah.
Just be a third knucklehead with us.
Right.
You fit right in.
We'll have five more questions.
After my first match is Lollipop, I'll come back
There you go.
and we'll talk about how somebody kicked my butt.
Yeah, see how your Instagram lollipop
Right.
car thingy is going.
OnlyFans.
Only
Lollipop.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you dress right, lay on top of a car, there's weirdos out there for everybody.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for some fire,
Yeah,
motivatewithcoachcamp.com.
I know it. You know where the best place is to find a lot of that material?
Right
Derrick?
here.
SRP Studios LLC.com.
That's right.
That's a fact.
That's
a
right.
fact. Yep.
And then while you're searching through all of my different socials, you'll find the Rhythm Section Podcast. RhythmSectionPod.com.
Nice.
Come watch all of our episodes. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Follow Jeff Ward on Facebook.
Yeah.
Follow me, Derrick McCod, on Facebook. It's good stuff. And then, Coach, they can email us, right?
They can email us at Cannonballing Life at gmail.com.
That was good.
Jeff's like, what am I doing?
It made my throat tickle.
Hey, I think this is a pretty positive show.
It is positive. If you wanted to talk about it, where would you go?
I would go to Positive Voices on Facebook. It's a group. The link is in the description. It's over 1,000 members now.
That's true.
And no one has been a jerk and gone in there and made it a dumpster fire. It's just a nice place to go and see some positive messaging.
Positively positive.
That's right.
You know what? Because of that positivity, and positivity ain't free sometimes, maybe they should leave $1. They can do that at Motivate with Coach Camp on Venmo.
That's right.
Yep.
Hook us up. And we still got
Logo time.
we got some tip money we got to spend.
Yeah,
but.
come over to my house in a thong. Let's go.
All right, Jeff Ward, everyone, once
Parents,
again, thanks for being here.
Go buy your teenager an ultralight.
Go buy it.
That's the message of the day.
That's right, guys. Take care.
Holla up.
Oh.
Yeah, man.